It is time to wander the world, and today we want to explore the world of caravanning. It can be a very affordable way to travel the country without having to spend a fortune on rented holiday accommodation because you take your room with you wherever you go. But of course, the caravan itself requires significant upfront investment, and it's an asset that, let's face it, might only be used a few weeks every year, gathering dust in a garage the rest of the time. So is it always a sensible investment? Well, some of you will say absolutely yes. It was the best way of exploring and going on childhood holidays. I have fond memories. I loved it and I couldn't wait to get my own. I'd love to hear from you if you fall into that camp. I'd equally like to hear from you if you go, you know what, we spent such a lot of money buying a caravan and then hardly ever used it. At the end of the day, it wasn't our best financial decision. Perhaps you'd also like to talk about the negative memories you have, the difficult holidays, the holidays where it rained all the time and you were squeezed inside the caravan trying to pass the hours. I'd love to hear from those of you who have explored South Africa by caravan. It's something I have never ever done myself, so I really don't have any lived experience to share, and I'm hoping to draw on yours while we talk about what I think is a very smart solution that wants to make this kind of travel more accessible to more people. I'm talking about a platform called Kampi, and it's spelled Kampi, and it's kind of like an Airbnb for caravans and camping equipment as well. The idea is that those who already own the caravan or the very high-tech camping gear and the camping trailers with their rooftop tents, etc., and maybe aren't using them as often as they want to, are able to make some money by renting them out to others to take their borrowed or rented caravan and go exploring in. And to tell us a little bit more about the platform, what it offers, how it works, and what made them start it in the first place, it's a pleasure to have one of the founders of Kampi, JP Voogt, joining us via Zoom this afternoon. JP, were you a caravaner yourself? Was it part of your childhood holiday memories?
Yes, it was always, we grew up in a camping family,
Okay.
but it's actually the whole idea sparked from me buying my dream caravan and parking it in the garage for 3 years
Oh,
and only using it once or twice
ouch.
in that 2, 3 years. So then I decided if I sell it now, I'm going to lose money. So there must be another way to make money from it.
And that was the concept. So it started literally with your own caravan. And JP, at first, what did you do? I mean, did you just say, hey, I've got a caravan available if anybody wants to rent it? Or did you realize straight away, I'm going to need to build a whole sort of platform to support this?
And no, I come from a software engineering
Aha.
background, so that was a conscious decision to see if I can build a large-scale platform to facilitate this or help people to go out camping across South Africa, and not just people that own caravans, but someone that only wants to camp once or twice a year. So um, I like the way you described it, the Airbnb of caravans.
I mean, very synchronous that you draw on your own professional skills as well to come up with the solution that you needed. And I mean, looking at how many listings you've got, clearly there was a need for this because before you blinked, Kampi was not just your caravan, it was caravans all over South Africa. It was trailers of every shape and size and description. And as you mentioned, it's camping equipment, the fancy tents, all of the bells and whistles that if you're serious campers who are going to go camping every second or third weekend, sure, you're going to invest in for yourself. But as you say, if you're only doing it once or twice a year, it can be a very expensive hobby. JP, tell us a little bit more about the kinds of things that are available on the Kampi site.
So there's actually quite a wide variety. So we started off with just or like I said, my off-road trailer, my pride and joy that I never used.
Mm.
We started to call around and look at people selling their caravans, trying to convince them to first try to rent it out. So there's off-road caravans, off-road trailers, nice luxurious road caravans. We've even recently moved into the inflatable tents, renting out those inflatable tents. There's owners with those rooftop tents.
Yeah,
And with some of the more popular options is the OV, the what
a motorhome.
motorhomes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, a huge variety of ways to get out there and stay very close to nature, because that's the one thing we haven't really spoken about, JP, is why would someone choose to holiday by caravan or with a camping trailer rather than staying in a house or an apartment or a hotel? I mean, for some people, it's going to be an absolute no-brainer. They like the experience of feeling that they're properly out in nature, feeling close to the earth and under the trees. But do you want to expand a little bit more about what it is that makes this kind of holiday so appealing to you and to the others who are using your site?
So first off, the idea, I came to this realization a while ago is no one lies in bed and dreams of a caravan. It is the idea of freedom. It's the idea of the outdoors. It is the kids off their screens. It's the nature hikes. It's all of those. It's just the freedom. My brother, he always describes people that loves camping and people that loves going into chalets and hotels are typically two different people, or it could be the same kind of person, but you're doing it for a different reason.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you go and stay in a chalet or hotel, it's time to relax. Camping is more a relaxation of your mind. It is because you know stuff is going to go wrong. You're going to struggle to get the tent peg in. You are going to, and that is keeping your mind busy with, but breaking free from the office and
Yeah.
your day-to-day routine. So I think it's healthy.
I do too, and so does our listener Heidi, who has sent through a voice note on 0725671567, sharing some of her holiday experiences. Let's take a listen to that.
Our parents taking us on caravanning holidays growing up was the best experiences we could have, I think, ever had for our childhood.
That says it all. Heidi, thanks for that. And I'm so glad you had those wonderful experiences. I'd love to hear from others, particularly, where did you go? What was it like? What were the things you enjoyed most? Was it all about the places it took you to? Is there something about spending time together in quite enclosed quarters that adds to the value of the holiday? I've just come back from that kind of holiday on water where the whole family were together in a fairly small space. And it's wonderful. As JP said, it comes with its own set of challenges, and things will go wrong, but that's half the joy, is finding ways to problem solve and get through those moments. For anybody who's coming in midway to this conversation, our guest on the line via Zoom this afternoon, JP Voogt, is the founder of a platform called Kampi, spelled Kampi, and you'll find them on kampi.co.za. And if you would like to try a fancy camping holiday or a caravanning holiday, but you don't own all the equipment and you don't want to have to invest in all of the equipment before you know whether you like it or not, this is an opportunity for you to rent somebody else's caravan and take it on holiday. JP, maybe at this point, let's talk about how it actually works in practice. So somebody comes onto your site thinking, I'd like to take my family on a caravan holiday somewhere in the Western Cape. What do they do next? How does it work? Do you filter by region? Do you filter by the kind of vehicle you are looking for? Just chat us through how the whole system works.
Okay, there's a couple of options. So the first one is, like you said, on the platform, you go onto the system, you go and search for your area, your pickup location, where you want to pick it up. So you specifically gave the the concept of going camping somewhere in the Western Cape.
Mm-hmm.
But if, let's say, you want to go to the Kruger and you're from Cape Town, you don't need to rent a caravan in Cape Town. You can rent one closer to your final destination, so you don't have to tow all the way. And drop it off back there. But you go onto the platform, you search for the area that you want to pick it up. Then there's a whole bunch of sub-filters that you can apply for. So one of the biggest restrictions in South Africa is some years ago, people stopped. Normally, when you went to go and do your license, everyone received their EB license, was allowed to tow. Now, in this last 20 to 30 years, that has changed. So everyone that's got their license, I think, in the last 25 years, is not allowed to tow anything bigger than 750 kilograms. So if your license doesn't permit it, you just flick on the switch to say what you can tow legally, and then you start looking at caravans, off-road caravans, what's your price budget, and what's available on your dates. And once picked your caravan that will make your weekend happen or your trip happen, you put in a booking request, and from there on, the owner or the host of the caravan and you get into contact with each other. The host decides if he's willing to allow his caravan to go where you want to go, and you can chat and talk, and he can guide you through all of those things. Then you make the booking payment, and from that point onwards, Kampi takes over again to ensure the insurance, the verifications happens, the KYC checks happens, if it's a cross-border trip, that all the paperwork gets filed in order, and then afterwards, when you return the caravan, we take over again to facilitate with the breakage deposits, and if there is a claim, all of the rest of the admin around it then.
Okay, so I mean, this is a detailed process, JP, and you've touched on one important side of the equation. I want to ask you about the other side. Your owner of the caravan wants to check that they're happy for this potential client to take their precious vehicle where they say they're going. What about the renters' assurances that the vehicle they're getting is in good condition and they're not going to pick it up, get 100 kilometers into their trip and discover that there's actually something wrong with it, or the lights aren't working properly, or something else has not been seen to? Do you do any sort of prep and vetting work on your side?
Yes, so hi, my name is Christian. I'm the general manager of Kampi.
Hi, Christian.
And yes, there is a vetting process that we go through, that the vehicle is roadworthy and the vehicle is rentable and presentable to a renter. And there's always the communication between the owner and the renter that there can be possible viewing before you do your 2-week Kruger trip. You just want to go check in. Is this what you need? Is this what you want? Before doing the complete reservation.
Okay, that's good to know, because Paul asking, how do you rely on cleanliness, quality, etc.? So you have the option to actually go and view the vehicle before pickup if you want to. And as you've just heard, Paul, Kampi itself doing its own verification and checking processes. Christian Voogt, the general manager, joining us as well on the Zoom call. He's the man who keeps the operations running smoothly and the owners happy. Robin is asking, would one find caravans that are already at a caravan park so that you don't have to tow? And a similar question from Charles saying, I've just returned from Kruger. I'd like to know if there's an option for the Kampi owners to deliver the caravans so that lazy people like me can just move in. Is that part of the option, that somebody would deliver the caravan to where you want to be sitting in it?
Interesting question, because it's a portion of the platform that we launched a week ago called Kampi Adventures.
Okay.
That allows, so we are busy getting all the owners together to list their caravans on towing services, tow and setup services, and there's a couple of caravans that's already set up at resorts that are starting to list on the Kampi Adventure platform. So we wanted to keep it sort of inside of the platform, but as a separate stream, to ensure that if you want to go where you want to go, you book your caravan. But if you want to go to a specific resort and there's already a caravan set up for you, or there's an owner willing to tow it for you and go and set it up for you, that's an additional service that we do offer now. And like I said, we basically launched that a week ago.
Okay, so a well-timed question. Thanks for that. And Claude just writing in to say, from Claremont, over 10 years ago, we camped in Hartenbos and we booked a caravan which was ready on site for us. It was absolute heaven, is Claude's comment. So I think you've hit on a very good idea here. For some people, half the fun is the towing the vehicle behind you and taking the journey from pickup. But for some people, the convenience of just arriving and being able to walk in the front door of the caravan and start your holiday is going to be what they're after. So I think it's great that you're expanding to offer both of those options. Nadia writes in to say, I grew up with only camping holidays. It was the best. The best about camping is that you can visit places where most people don't go, like Bali's Hut in the Cedarburg, a beautiful piece of nature only for camping. It's got such a wonderful name, Nadia. I'd never heard of that before, but now I'm intrigued to go and look it up. If you've got questions, we are in conversation with Christian and JP Voogt of the platform Kampi, spelled Kampi. The website is kampi.co.za. If there's anything about the process you'd like to know, you're welcome to ask a question by sending a WhatsApp to 072 567 1567. Is there anything, JP, let me put this one back to you. Is there anything about the caravanning experience which a complete novice needs to be warned about or needs to be made aware of that isn't sort of widely known, whether it's something to do with the number of people you put into the space, the way you live inside a caravan, anything that comes to mind that you want to just say, please be mindful of X, Y, and Z before you commit to a long caravan trip?
Okay, so nothing comes to top of my mind, but when you said before you're committing to a long caravan trip, there's a lot of renters or people that want to go explore Botswana or Tankwa for 2, 3, 4 weeks at a time. And what generally happens is they'll book a weekend on with the caravan that they're planning on renting to first learn to see how it is and how it works and ensure they know how to pack it and everything before they just go straight up and rent a caravan or trailer for their 2-3 week Botswana or Tankwa tour, because there's always something. You never know how much you can pack, how much light you would need. Specifically for my wife, she loves if the caravan has hot running water and a toilet inside to not have to go out at night. For me, I don't care. I'm happy with a rooftop tent, slipping off the ladder middle of the night.
It's each to their own needs and wants. I take your point. And I think it's a very good idea to say before you commit to the long trip, test it out for a shorter trip in the meantime. An important thing we haven't spoken about is pricing. And one or two people are asking, what's the sort of average rate per day? JP, I would imagine it's going to vary hugely according to what it is that you're renting and the spec. But do you want to give us some sort of broad parameters?
Yes. Like you said, it's quite a wide range, but you can start all the way, I believe, from about 400 Rand a day, all the way up to 4,000, 5,000 Rand a day, depending on what kind of caravan. Motorhomes is generally a lot more expensive in the 2,000-3,000 Rand ranges. And then I know there's a whole following around a specific luxurious caravan brand that is very popular as well. So the pricing on that is the owners price it based on demand for that. And on the pricing, the owner, the host of the caravan, they decide what the price is. So we guide them to say generally let's say this caravan would generally go for between this and this price in this area, but you are more than welcome to go and put it up for 8,000 Rand a day. That doesn't guarantee that you'll ever get any rentals, but you dictate the price. I'm not going to tell you how much your caravan is worth per day. I can guide you.
Okay, and just to echo what JP's just said, I'm on the site looking at the options as we speak, and there, I'm looking at everything from 790 Rand a day for a full 4-sleeper caravan to, as you said, the more expensive super luxurious versions, which come in at a couple of thousand. Still a lot cheaper, obviously, than paying for a hotel stay or an actual Airbnb. And before we run out of time, JP and Christian, anything else you'd like to mention that I haven't asked you about that you think is important to flag for somebody who might be contemplating trying this for the first time ever?
Yes, so camping it's something that I used to say, camping is working. So if you want to go work, keep your mind off the office and work. So yes, then you need to go and camp. But in a broad spectrum is if you are the owner of a caravan and you only go camp once a weekend every month, you basically only use your caravans 2 weeks in a 52-week calendar year, which means for 50 weeks the caravan stands in your garage. And so this could be the way to start getting some extra funds in. And we do have everything that to back you up as an owner and to back the renters up. So we've got everything in place. This is not something that we do for just 2 or 3 weeks. It came a long time. It's about 6 years, but we're doing this now. So we do have quite a good experience.
And just to add quickly to what Christian said is, in the 5-6 years that we've been operational, we have facilitated successfully just over 7,000 rentals in South Africa.
So you know what you're doing by now, in short. Last question before we must say goodbye. It's an important one. Noeline asking whether your caravans are pet friendly. Is that up to the individual owner, or is it something you don't allow at all?
It's up to the owner.
Okay. So Noeline, you can do your research to find one that would allow you to take your pets with you, if you want to do that, and that's a priority for you. We must wrap there, but it's been fascinating chatting to you, Christian and JP. Thank you so much. I think it's a wonderful concept, and I'm delighted to hear that over 7,000 people have agreed and given it a chance. And I hope some Cape Talkers are going to give it a bash and check you out on kampi.co.za. Thanks so much for being with us this afternoon.